And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition here of the SEL, the StarCraft Evolution League Masters number 7, part 2, day number 2 here. I'm of course live VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players and by the ByuN chats as well. Welcome one and all to our early morning broadcast. Again, we were live late last night covering the ISSL. It did last a long time. It was a 5-hour cast. All the TVTs, baby. But now we're back, we're live with some StarCraft Evolution. If you missed out on day 1, we were live yesterday this time 24 hours ago. We were live yesterday with the quarterfinals of the SEL Masters. Now we're live with the semis and then the grand finals thereafter. The way this event works here, I mean on a monthly basis or on a semi-regular basis, the event does have different formats. Sometimes it's a couple of show matches, sometimes it's a round robin group stage, or sometimes it is a single elimination bracket like this time. So again, single elimination, 8 players that step into the ring. We have already cut the player pool in half, and now we have 4 players remaining. We have our semis. Up first, as you can see here, is going to be Elazer versus ZaRDieNT in a ZVT, followed by ByuN versus SKillous in a TVP. That'll be thereafter, then into the grand finals. Likewise, when it comes to these semi-final matches, these are best of 5s. Best of 5s, not best of 3s, so longer series, longer matches. And I should also emphasize, this is a StarCraft Evolution tournament, SCEvo. This is a mod that does pit Brood War versus SE2 in a head-on clash. They're going to be facing off against each other in this 1v1 format. Now, different tournaments have different rules as to this when it comes to how you go back and forth. For StarCraft Evolution, it is loser's pick. So you play, I believe initially it is a coin flip to determine who gets to pick what race first, then it's loser's pick. So we might see the same kind of matchup multiple games in a row, depending on, you know, how things land. Other tournaments, they force, you know, a back and forth kind of like a rotation between who gets to play Brood War and SE2 and Brood War and SE2. But alas, for this, it is loser's pick. So let's go. Let us go. We're going to be jumping into our first game, jumping into our first matchup, Golden Wall. Let's go. The other good thing, the other, I would say, favorite thing for me, at least when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, is the fact that we do have a custom map pool featuring some older maps, some older Brood War ported maps, or even some older SE2 maps as well. Let's jump in. Game 1 is going to be on the Golden Wall. It's been a while. Again, Golden Wall was in the map pool, what, back in 2021-ish era StarCraft? Maybe even before that, actually. But Golden Wall was the original map that did feature this big dynamic where you would have you'd have a whole section of the map just completely segmented off, similar to, say, El Dorado, for example, or even Alkioni. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Golden Wall, we have the Polish Zerg player. We have the red Zerg. From Poland, it is Elazer. The Brood War Zerg, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran. Representing Team Hyper 1, it is ZaRDieNT. Let's go. Let us go. Let's jump on in. And once again, welcome on to Golden Wall. As I just mentioned, Golden Wall is the original, like the precursor to El Dorado, Alkione, or even Crimson Courts as well, for example, where you have this entire southern half of the map completely sealed off by what? By the Golden Wall. It's all gold minerals. It is all gold minerals, gold patches, cutting off the entire lower half of the map. You can mine out this early on, the southern patches that are connected to the main base, to be able to expand here at a very safe location, or you can save this for a 3rd or a 4th base later on and expand instead into the center, where you have another fresh gold expansion available to you. Of course, the downside here is that you're a little bit more exposed. You can be attacked from the other side of said wall as well. So you do have that unique dynamic. On top of that, there are all-ins where you can try to go for like a proxy gas geyser, pull a couple of boys, mine and open up this wall, and then Ling Flood, for example, or go for a charge-based all-in that we did see in years past. So you can be cheesy here with this as well if you so choose to. For now, though, we're just going for our standard openers here. We do see Rax expand out of ZaRDieNT. Likewise, Elazer going for his own hatch into gas into pool. Again, ZaRDieNT's playing Brood War Zerg. Sorry, Elazer is playing Brood War Zerg. Now, when it comes to this matchup here, when it comes to this dynamic, I should also emphasize as well that Elazer has been hyper aggressive in StarCraft Evolution. We've been seeing a lot of all-ins out of Elazer, a lot of different forms of aggression. We've been seeing a lot of, say, lurker timings, lurker-based all-ins. Even here, we're going to be skipping link speed. We skip link speed straight for the Hydra Den as well, and we'll see how dedicated this becomes here from the side of Elazer. We shall see. Going to be relying on site defense early on to defend. Going to be joining, going to be saturating, and again, we'll see if he does go for a Hydra all-in, or if he's just playing this safe. Again, that's just a really fast Hydra Den. As Rebuild's poking into the natural, Hydra production has begun. So far, the Reaper does get the one Zergling, gets one, gets, oh, just the one. From here, going to be forced back. And we'll deny some mining. Does deny some mining. Hydra has arrived. And we'll clean up the initial Reapers. And Reapers are cleaned up. The initial Hydra speed upgrade has begun as well. We're droning, we're saturating. Back at home, ZaRDieNT is going for his own 1-1-1 setup. Oh, my apologies. Going third CC before starport. So greedy economic build here out of ZaRDieNT. He's being greedy, is being economic, is focusing towards the mid game. Nice catch on the Overlord. Overlord does go down. Oh, okay, so he's going 3CC, he's being greedy. Follow-up is mech. Second factory gets thrown down. We are going to mech it up here. Elazer, of course, has not confirmed this, is not scouted, is not fully aware as to what's going on. But once again, eyes are on Elazer when it comes to the Hydra timing. Upgrades are on the way very quickly here, and so far, Elazer's just droning. He only made 2 defensive Hydras, and he is claiming a third base. So it looks like this was just an opener to secure yourself against the early aggression before building up in towards the mid-game as well. Okay, so far so good. Likewise, neither player has gone into the gold base yet. We might see ZaRDieNT be greedy and rush into that gold. We'll see where this command center does float off to. But so far, Elazer is expanding away from ZaRDieNT. And likewise, has yet to confirm the tech of choice. Elazer does not know that it is going to be mech. Helios, do we just rush past? Oh, he's trying. We'll lose one Hellion in the process. The other 2 do make it through. 4 is going to be pulled, and 2. 1. 1 drone goes down. We get 2. Do we get 3? Yeah, should be 3. 4? Oh my god. Yeah, 4 drones go down. A little bit more than what should have happened, but again, it was only 2 Hydras, only a handful of Zerglings, so it was very shaky defense here from Elazer. Alas, behind this, he's still droning, still saturating, but not a bad start here for ZaRDieNT, killing 4 workers early on. Back at home, is switching to tank production. So my assumption was battle mech, right? Hellions into Cyclones. But no, ZaRDieNT, he's going into an early tank, just 1 defensive tank to begin with. We'll see from here he goes into Macville accelerators. No, he continues very fast and very early tank production. So a very traditional form of mech. And also with the expansion, he's not going for the gold, he's going for the southern expansion instead, which is safe for now. You can see the Elazer is also opening up that southern wall, claiming his 4th base on the top side. Early on, this base is safe and sound, of course, for ZaRDieNT, at least until the wall does open up. Even when it does, there is still no link speed, by the way. Just the Hydra upgrades. Just those upgrades. Fast +1 on the way as well here for ZaRDieNT, switching into tank of mine. Hellies, they do dive into the middle line. This time, not going to be as worth it here. I mean, 5 drones. Okay. We trade somewhat. 5 workers go down. What I find interesting here is that Elazer, he still doesn't have a lair, which is kind of odd to me. Just now, 6 minutes in, so a very late lair here for Elazer. With the later layer, that means later tech. So for the time being, we're still stuck with Hydras, which I don't think can really do much against the siege line. So ZaRDieNT, he is free to just turtle up, secure 3 bases. Now we got macro accelerators on the way. Really interesting to see that initially it was Hellion tank, followed afterwards by the Cyclones. Maybe just to be a little bit safer, just to be a little bit more secure. Because of this though, there's very little battle mech, which means ZaRDieNT can't really apply any pressure. That's the upside of going into battle mech, is that you can be active early on, trade with the army, dance with these units, pick off some Hydras, threaten mineral lines, threaten bases of course as well. Meanwhile, we don't really have that opportunity for ZaRDieNT. He has been going for Hellion run-bys, that is true, and I mean they have been getting some damage, but hey, 5 drones for 2 Hellions, I mean not bad. But we'll see if he can get anything else done, have any more presence on the map. The downside of going into this many tanks early on, you're just stuck at home. Queen's Nest has begun. Lurker tech is now on the way. When it comes to the Queen's Nest, that will give access to Queen production, of course. Queens are going to be ideal in this kind of situation. So when it comes to Queens, typically in StarCraft Evolution, we usually see them utilized for Ensnare, right? Their Ensnare ability. And if it was Battle Mech, and we're kind of working towards Battle Mech, Ensnare is going to be a key factor to hunt down and to lock down the army. But so once we get into a more traditional form of mech with these high-tech tank setups and tank positions, that is where Parasite is going to be that much more effective. Am I thinking of the right word? There's 3 spells. There's Parasite, there's Ensnare, and there's Spawn Brooding. That's it. Sorry, that's what I was thinking of. Parasite is the ability that gives you sight. That's it. But we do engage at a time, and the tanks on siege. Yeah, tanks on siege. They're late to react, late to respond. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks. Oh my god, heavy losses here for ZaRDieNT. And he gets caught out. He gets caught out. Not enough support. The Hydras, they overwhelm. And before we can even think about Queen production, almost every tank falls. Ay. Hydras, they overwhelm. They're gonna catch out the remaining tanks. They do go down. Hellions, they try to bypass the army. And this will force a reaction here out of Elazer. But it's only 3. Only 3 Hellions. Down to 2. Down to 1. Down to 0. Down to 0. Now you can just commit. And who needs Queens? Who needs Defilers? Who needs any of that? We just flood across the map. And again, ZaRDieNT just caught on siege, right? He was just not paying attention. He got caught on siege. That's game, to be honest. Like, it takes so long to rebuild all those tanks. He lost how many? He lost 9. 9 tanks went down. And with that Elazer, he's flooding across. Now, pushing into this position is still going to be awkward. It's still going to be difficult. With the amount of Hydras we have, it might not matter. Elazer might just be able to commit anyway. We'll take some massive tank shots to the face. For now, backs off. Backs off. You can try to rotate. Again, pushing into this position or this southern position, it is going to be difficult. Due to the SimCity. Due to the tank lines. Hellions, they force Elazer back. I'll be getting into it. So the way the Queens work, Ensnare, of course, catches and slows an army. We do see Parasite, which is kind of like Revelation. It's a way to kind of get vision, of course, on an army, army movement, on unit movement. Meanwhile, Spawn Brooding is ideal just because it does. It's a good way to pick off these key targets like tanks. But so far, we are just using the Queen's Nest to go into a hive. And to go for the Defiler Mounds. Okay, so it looks like instead we're going to be going for Dark Swarm. It's been so long since I've used these words. Yes, Dark Swarm is going to be on the horizon. There's will be a way to, again, break through these siege lines. ZaRDieNT does expose himself. Yeah, he's out in the open. And Hydras are coming from behind. They're getting on top of the tanks. And once again, we get, what, 5 tank kills? It is 3 tanks, 4, 5. GG gets called. And Elazer, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Elazer will take a lead in the series. Against ZaRDieNT, he didn't have a bad start. He was able to be greedy and get into his 3 bases and build up. But what ZaRDieNT, what was really unfortunate, of course, was his move outs. He pushed across the map, he got caught unsieged, and bam, how many tanks did he lose? 9. He lost 9 tanks with his first push, and that was game then and there. As we were trying to emphasize, it just takes so long to rebuild a mech army like that, to rebuild all those tanks. So to lose so much momentum early on, I mean, that what can you do? Like, what, what can you do after lose 9 tanks for a couple of Hydras, pap? Yeah. So very, very rough start there for ZaRDieNT, as he was kind of shut down before he could really get the ball rolling. And with that, Elazer takes the lead in the series, and we'll see if he can keep that ball rolling, or if ZaRDieNT can recover and bounce back. Let's go. Game 2, Vermeer. Going to be loading into a 4-player spawn map, one of the older Brood War ported maps. Let's go. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the Polish Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg. Oh, the Red Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg, once again leading the series 1-0. It is Elazer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Terran, the SC2 Terran, representing Team Hyper 1. It is ZaRDieNT. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into game number 2 here of our best of 5. Again, game 1, we saw that ZaRDieNT was able to have a good start, a good opener. Like, it was solid for what it was. But again, the push, the follow-up was lacking. As, oh, hello. As Elazer does go for the early pull. Early pull into a gas, into a delayed expansion. Again, welcome to Vermeer. Vermeer, you can spawn in top left, top right, bottom left, or bottom right instead. There are 4 possible spawn locations. Very large map in the map pool as well. Longer rush distance by ground. We do see ZaRDieNT opening up 2-Rax Reaper. Okay, so 2-Rax Reaper out of ZaRDieNT. Early pull, early gas out of Elazer. The Gamba is real. Elazer will find ZaRDieNT immediately, as he will send the Overlord down and find the Raxes. ZaRDieNT is still unaware whether or not Elazer is spawning top left or bottom right or top right. Looks like based on the SCEvo, he is going to scout the spawn location first. So they'll both scout each other. Now, when it comes to the current spawn locations, this is going to be close spawns. Again, as you can see, we have vertical spawns, short rush distance by ground, short rush distance by air. Aggression is going to be favored here. If this 2-Rax Reaper turns into like a 3-1-1 follow-up or something, like this can hit very, very hard. Yeah, the SCEvo and the Overlord, they do scout each other. Early hydrogen here by Elazer. Very early den. And I'm curious how this dynamic works here, as we are going for 2 more Raxes. 1 base all in. Yeah, 4 Rax, 1 base all in here. Let's go. ZaRDieNT is going to double down. He does find the spawn location. They spot each other. Do sway each other. First Reaper has arrived. Poking into main base. The Hydras will fall out in time to defend. And because Elazer scouted the extra Raxes, Elazer should be aware to make additional units. And he even scouts the main? Oh my, he sees all 4. That should not have happened. What? Is this not a full wall? What? How? Well, I guess the depot was just down. Yeah, depot was down. 3 SCVs do fall, and Elazer sees everything. That should not have happened. He's fully aware of all 4 Raxes very early on. He's massing up his Hydras. We'll lose 2 Hydras. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. Trades 1-to-1. Losing 1 Hydra, takes down 1 of the Reapers. Sunken Colony is now done. I should say Creep Colony is done. The Sunken is on the way. Oof, and he punishes. Yeah, massive punish. Takes down 1, takes down 2. Ooh, 2 more Reapers go down. GG gets called. ZaRDieNT gets called out. And Elazer takes a 2-0 lead in the series. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Elazer does claim a further lead here. Again, ZaRDieNT trying to be hyper aggressive, which can work really well on an RNG map like this, where you have multiple spawn locations. But Elazer, he found him first, Not just that, but the Lings even slipped past the depot wall and into the main. Slipped into the main base, got a full scout, full confirmation. This, of course, told Elazer to make more than just 2 Hydras. Remember, he only made 2 Hydras in game 1, but here he was notified to make additional Hydras to set up earlier on. It wasn't just to make additional Hydras, though. Remember, what was the build of choice for Elazer? He went pool first. He went early pool, early gas, so he had earlier Ling production and earlier Hydra production as well than normal. So very safe play there by Elazer. He almost hard countered, but again, part of that was due to the scouting as well. He was able to be notified ahead of time as to how to respond, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Elazer does take a toy lead in the series, and we'll see if he can close it out. We'll see if he can close it out here and now. The pressure is on ZaRDieNT as we load into Ruby Rock. Oh. Here we go. So I'm going to be loading in. Yo, Esther Roxas in the chat. Ah, cast by replay. Okay. It's been a while, Pappy. It's been a while since we've had a replay cast. Funnily enough, the last replay that we did cast was actually when Iceland went for the 12 pool by making 12 pools. That was that was ironically the last replay we casted. But here we go. We're getting to our next match. We're getting into our next game and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. Bottom right-hand corner here of Ruby Rock, we have the Polish Zerg player, the once again Brood War Zerg, leading the series 2-0. It is Elazer. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, going for the proxy T-Rex. It's going to be a short one. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Hyper 1 down in the series. Can he cheese it up here by going for not just 1, not just 2, but 3 proxy Raxes? It is ZaRDieNT. Let's go. Let us go. So it is going to be a proxy 3-rax marine rush, or I should say bunker rush here. Mass marine with bunkers here on the low ground. Meanwhile, this time Elazer goes hatch first. Hatch first here by Elazer. Hatch gas pool, standard opener. Now, Elazer can still defend with this. It's just it's not going to be as easy of a defense as it would have been with an earlier pool timing that we saw last game. So again, standard build here by Elazer, hyper aggression out of ZaRDieNT. We'll see how Elazer does react and does respond. The first overlord will not check for the proxy, but will be parked outside of the natural. Will give Elazer a heads up as to the initial SCEV and the bunkers being thrown down. So Elazer, he will be aware. We're now setting up his macro hatcheries, and we're gonna need some sunkens for sure. As Marines are amassing. And Marines amass, so the army is revealed. We have the first bunker being thrown down. All 3 SCVs are revealed as well, so Elazer is fully aware. Yeah, it's fully aware the commitment of the boys are being pulled, and Elazer, can he save that natural base? Here come the sunken colonies, and they need to finish. He has to buy time to let them finish. The first one's being focused down. Oh, does force a cancel. Does get one. Now going for the other. Second cancellation. Saves all the drones, and now we pull the boys. Now we pull the boys here. The bunker is about to finish. We're getting on top of some of the Marines. Bunker does complete, and drones are going down. Heavy losses here. Every worker's going to fall. Oh god. 8 drones do fall. Too much. Far too much damage here, and it looks like ZaRDieNT, he is going to fight back. 10 drones go down. That is insane damage. And there's only one. Yeah, there's only one sunken. We can just ignore this. We can go into the main base. GG. GG gets called. The proxy does work, and ZaRDieNT fights back. Does put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We have a series. We do have a series. We have a back and forth. Winding it back here. Again, Elazer, he did need to save the first 2 colonies here to make this work, I feel. He was very unwilling to pull the boys until the very end. When he did, it felt like it was too late. It's like it felt like he had... it felt like he just needed to buy so much time for the colonies to let them finish. And again, very unfortunate that he overcommitted. He lost 10 drones. It was brutal. GG. GG. Did sustain some critical damage there, and with that, we're now getting into our next game. We have a series, we have a back and forth, and ZaRDieNT, can he begin the comeback and force the ace match? Let's go. Let's go. As we are loading into Keras Passage for that next game. One of the much older maps of the map pool from SE2. From many TLMCs ago. And here we go. This morning in the bottom right hand corner of Keras Passage, we have the Polish Zerg player. He is sticking to Brood War Zerg. Remember, it's loser's pick, by the way, but he's sticking to it. Leading the series 2-1, still one game away from claiming the series. It is Elazer. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the SE2 Terran player. We have the blue Terran down in the series, but again, can he bring us all the way to the ace match? It is a ZaRDieNT. Let's go. Let us go. As we are getting into our next game, as we are again going to be settling in, Elazer does go hatch first. He's not going to be forced to go into the early pool. And likewise, ZaRDieNT going for his own racks back at home. So it's just getting my jacket. It's very cold. It's cold, man. It's cold. But here we go again. We're going to be settling into our next game. Whew. And again, we'll see if the series ends here and now, or if ZaRDieNT can recover and bounce back. We do have a standard openers here. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Again, Elazer was not tempted to go into an early pool timing, so he will not fall behind or have an inefficient start. Likewise, ZaRDieNT just opening up with his Reaper. Now, when it comes to any kind of mid-game play, we've seen game one to lead us into mech, of course. Could we see mech here again? We could. I don't know if this will be the best map for it. The entrances here are a little bit wider. Your initial three-way setup is pretty secure, don't get me wrong, but the fourth base is very exposed. It's very isolated. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. Very isolated fourth expansion. So I don't see a turtle-heavy style working too well here. We'll see if ZaRDieNT has something else up his sleeve. Once again, early hydrogen. Building up early on. Safety colony. Reaper does move in, and the dance has begun. It's going to be on Elazer to minimize losses and to not lose any drones. As the first Reaper does pick off both Zerglings. Oh, yeah, both Lings do go down. Drone gets low. Does morph in the gas. And it's going to be saved. It's going to be pulled away. It's going to be saved. At the same time, Hydras are going to be settling in, and now we do hold. We can expand and claim a third base, and behind this, ZaRDieNT for the first time this series going for a 1-1-1 follow-up. Okay. So delayed third CC, very fast starport. This leads into typically Reaper Banshee. Sorry, Reaper what? Heli Banshee, I meant to say. It does typically lead into Heli Banshee, but we'll see if we go for the Tech Lab, if we go maybe Viking first into a Fusion Core into BC. ZaRDieNT has options. Do we go Viking first? And whoa, we're going double starport. Now, the reason why I assumed Viking first and BC, yep, there we go, is because there's no add-on swap. Usually, if it's Banshee, you see a Tech Lab already into an add-on swap into a faster setup here, but you can see that there is no add-on swap. We're just making the Tech Lab on the starport instead. BC opener. Battlecruiser time. Now, usually when you go for this, you go Viking first, then Battlecruiser production, just to hunt down the Overlords and deny vision, deny scouting. Here, we're just going straight Battlecruiser. Just straight BCs. You know, ZaRDieNT looking for a way in. There is a full wall. There's that full wall. Don't worry, Pappy. Spring is coming. Can't come fast enough. I could be crazy. I feel like this year it's been colder than previous years. Like it's been rough. It's been very cold. So behind this, we are going for our lair. Lair is on the way, taking up in towards Lurker Tech. So far, the Hydra is just keeping over the Hellions. Now, this is where I'm curious how the BC dynamic works in StarCraft Evolution, because naturally, Elazer will have anti-air. Typically, in SE2, there's going to be Ling Bane here or Roach Ravager with Queens. Anti-air is going to be quite limited, but due to the Hydra being a core unit instead in Brood War, you already have a bunch of Hydras, so 1 BC won't really do much. 2 BCs, I mean, depending on the positioning here, might be able to overwhelm. We'll see. Meanwhile, Elazer turtling up, getting more sunken colonies up and running. I will say the Hydra count isn't too high, so BCs can still skirt around the edge and get some more economic damage done at least. Oh, and here we go. We teleport in. And we're diving to the main base. Elazer does pull away. Does react. Hydras, they rush into the main. And oh no, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Yeah, Hydra's gonna be delayed, and BCs, they get away. They do pull back at the same time. Ooh, Hellies, they bust into the mineral line. Yeah, drones getting roasted. Oh my god, they're lighting up. 8 drones, can we get more? 8 drones going down. We get 1 more volley. Massive damage here. 9 drones going down. BCs, they chase down the Hydras. And it's getting out of hand here. 12 drone kills 14. 14 drones go down. Critical damage. Back at home, ZaRDieNT, he is getting his 3rd TC up and running. Still on the way. His 3rd base is still quite delayed here, I will say. So his economy is still lacking. Elazer can recover. Droning, saturating, building up more Hydras. BCs, they go back into the main base. Elazer's out of position. Spores, they can buy some time. But they're being pretty down. Gets 1, gets 2. Hydras, they're rushing on over. This time there's no traffic jam. And we'll kill one of the... Ooh, never mind. I was going to say we'll kill one of the BCs, but last we'll teleport away. Oh my god. Yeah, BCs, they barely do get out. And Hydras, they can hold their own, but I mean, the idea here is that you always get away, right? You can always teleport, you can always float out into the dead space, you cannot be chased down. You can see forcing out even more spores. Remember, spores are not meant to kill BCs, they just buy time for the Hydras to respond. It's there to buy time. ZaRDieNT, he is now establishing his 3rd. Elazer's rejoining. Now, from here, we would expect to see Elazer get into a... a Spire. Mutas will not be ideal against this, not at all, but Scourge, right? Scourge is going to be quite a valuable asset, I would say, against a heavy BC composition. BCs are slow. Scourge can shut them down. But I can't imagine Elazer's been in this position for too often or too long. Give us the Spire. There it is. Spire is down the way. This is late though. It's a very late Spire. You can see he's protecting it. Throwing down all the spores surrounding the Spire. Is it too late? Here come the BCs. Now this is why I'm concerned for ZaRDieNT, because he is actually just going pure BC. There's very little support. We've got 3 Widow Mines. without too much support, Scourge will shut this down. As BCs, they get one. One of the spores, they're going to be able to pick off a drone. Nothing crazy. Hydras, they hold their own. They buy time. Oh god. There we go. It does pull back. Gets one BC. That should not have happened. Gets one, gets two. Oh my god. 1, 2 BCs go down. And miscontrol by ZaRDieNT. Should not be losing BCs in this position. Does teleport back home. And the Spire is done. The Spire is now complete. Now, I do like the addition of Widowmines here. I do think that Widowmines are a really good supportive unit for battle cruisers. But we should start Scourge production. There it is. 26 Scourge on the way. Oh my god. Yeah, massive mind shells. 36. I think that's enough. That's more than enough. That's gonna kill everything. As Widowmines are being cleaned up, Hydras, they move out. Pushing towards the Planetary. Planetary does finish. Hydras, they need to respect it. But the Scourge are coming. Yeah, the Scourge, they're coming. How many BCs do we have? We have 6. 6 here with the main army. And the Scourge are diving in. No, yeah, they go for the dive. Oh, they get 1, they get 2. Oh my god, they zone back the BCs and we're still there, we're still going. Yeah, they're gonna be zoned away. Ooh, they get another 2. Oh my god, 2 more BCs go down. There's 2 left. Yeah, 2 BCs remain. We have 18 more Scourge on the way. Without the base falls, and that's all that ZaRDieNT had. GG. GG gets called. That's all he had. And Elazer, he will claim the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. As we mentioned here, going for Scourge does hard counter BC. Again, it's a dynamic that you don't really see too often, and it would show that it isn't really wise to try to rely on heavy air units against Zerg in StarCraft Evolution, just because the Scourge are such a strong and cheap counter. I think that's the big thing, is that Scourge, they produce really quickly, they're very cheap, they're relatively fast as well, and yeah, the BCs, they just get shut down completely there. GG, well played. With that Elazer, he will claim the series. He will advance on. Will advance on. Bring back the Scourge? I would disagree with that. SE2 is balanced in a very different way. Scourge are not... I would not say they're tools. They'd make Skytoss very easy to deal with. For sure. It's one of those things where if you try to introduce a Scourge, you have to introduce a counter to the Scourge for each of the races, just because of the high amount of output damage dealt, and also because of like the fact that air units are prone to stacking as well when it comes to Terran and Protoss Sky units. Different units, different dynamic. But with that, GG will play. Elazer, he will advance on into the next round. Up next, we will have a TVP here, ByuN versus SKillous, to determine who will face off against Elazer. Shout out to ZaRDieNT. ZaRDieNT, he was able to showcase some interesting builds with some mech involved, with some cheese, with some aggression. Hey, did take a map release off of Elazer. But this next matchup should be a little bit closer in skill here. We'll see. Loading into game 1, loading into Radion. Here we go. We go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Radion, we have the teal Terran player. We have the Teal Terran, we have the South Korean Terran, the Brood War Terran. Representing Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself. Representing Team Liquid, it is SKillous. Let's go. Let us go. We are loading into our fresh best of 5, bearing in mind here that Elazer is now waiting in the grand finals for the winner of the series. Will it be a Terran? Will it be a Protoss? Where to find out. Let's go. Let us go. Again, welcome to RADION. RADION is another 4-player small map. You can spawn in bottom left, bottom right, top right, or top left. So four different small locations, and we'll see how we decide to open up and settle in. Go. So actually being a threat, it sounds like you need to watch some more StarCraft, Vappy, especially ZVT. Like Spire, Mutaplay, especially with the most recent buffs, like is seen in ZVT. You do see that dynamic. I would argue that that's one of the funnest, probably the best thing about StarCraft 2 is ZVT, like ByuN versus Lingbane Muta. Like, ironically, like that's that's like the iconic matchup of StarCraft 2. CVT so boring. Oh, you can have a wrong opinion. It's true. MW, he only likes TVT, Siege Line versus Siege Line. It is known. That's all he likes. As behind this, we're going for a 3x. So 3x stim timing here out of ByuN. Building up his stim timing. And heading across the map. Now, when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, when it comes to SKillous, we mentioned this during the previous event, but SKillous, he is a player that has embraced StarCraft Evolution a little bit more so than the other foreigners and the other international players, but we haven't really been seeing much of SKillous in SCEvo over the past couple of months. Last year, he was much more active, much more active. This year, less so. He should still be familiar with this build, just because 3x stim is a very common build, even over the past year, even if not even more than that. But I'm concerned because he's going for a Stargate opener. Stargate play does leave you vulnerable to these early stim timings. Remember, we have the Academy on the way, into Stim, into Master Marine, into Medic. This is going to hit very hard, and defensive Oracles, for example, won't help too much here. I'm a little bit concerned, especially with close spawns. We do have close spawns. So that's something that you gotta respect in SE2. It's just what A. Again, it sounds like you don't watch much StarCraft. What do you mean? If you maybe are unfamiliar with SE2, Spire Tech, if it goes unscouted, does kill Protoss players and does kill Terran players pretty hard, actually. Especially in ZVP. That's why it's imperative that Protoss is able to get vision and scouting. That's one of the reasons why Stargate openers are very commonplace, to try to get vision and try to get eyes on any kind of hidden Spire. Yo, exclamation mark YouTube in the chat. Watch some VODs. True. Watch the CranKy Ducklings. As the Oracles, they dive into the main base. So 1, 2, 3 ACV kills. This is nice damage, but what about the defense? What about the defense? Back at home, we do have 2 batteries. We have 3 adepts. With 2 batteries, I think we're good. Yeah, we have the energy overcharge as well. SKillous, he will defend back at home. He gets a couple of SCV kills. So far, so good. Oh, we should not chase. So SKillous, calm down, baby, calm down. So SKillous, he will be secure back at home. Again, he's got his batteries ready. Behind this, we have Glaive Adepts on the way. Interesting follow-up here by SKillous. Very interesting. Going for Glaives. This does have potential, is what I will say. It does have a lot of potential. You have different opinions just because you don't know StarCraft. Are you really going to tell me that Mutaplay, if unscouted, doesn't wreak havoc in ZVP? If you're of that opinion, then my assumption is you don't watch much StarCraft. Because then you'd be aware of that. The other assumption I could make is maybe you like block that out of your memory. You just have selective memory. Actually, yeah, I mean, true. You could just have selective memory instead. True. Tell me, which one is that MW? Don't be a clown. Don't be a clown. So from here. So from here, we're building up the adepts. We're just massing up our adepts here. I believe Glaives did finish. Glaives did finish up. Behind this, we're building up into 3 races, working towards the upgrades, working towards our tech. Working towards it. From here, the game is continuing. We're getting to our bio tank here. Extra Raxes. We're not switching to mech, which is not uncommon here from ByuN. He did fully wall off, by the way. I mean, that's a way to shut down Glaive and Eps, I suppose. Fully walls off completely. We're all sealed up. And the game will continue. Game will continue. From here, it's going to be up to ByuN to try to expand. There we go, he's breaking out. Looking to claim his 3rd base. Meanwhile, Nikita SKillous is going to be building up into Storm. Temple Archives on the way, into Storm, into our mid game. Due to the amount of adepts, and we're still continuing adept production, by the way. Like we're, it's a very awkward setup that I'm not used to seeing, where we have mass adepts against bio, and without any splash damage like mines or tanks. I mean, hey, SKillous, he will hold his own. Oh, speaking of, tank is in position. Nice bait. Yeah, baits at the army. Massive tank shots. SKillous can be forced back. Ideally, he has to fight out of the range of the tanks. ByuN is pushing forward. ByuN does move in. Storm is not ready yet. Does have the Temple Archives, can morph in Archons. But no Storm. Tanks getting caught unsieged. He gets 1, he gets 2. Yeah, 1, 2 tanks go down. Massive pickoffs. Takes down both tanks, dives on the bio army, and he will trade. Yeah, he will trade out here, and he will clean up most of the Marines. But is this good enough? Is this a good enough trade? Plays out with the adepts. Back at home, we don't really have that much left here. Again, Storm was never researched. We have the archives. Still no Storm. SKillous switching into charge lots. Again, it's just a very gateway heavy composition. It doesn't scale too well into a longer game. Moving in. Premier is pushing forward. Once again, we are going to be able to dive on the tanks. Yeah, there we go. 1, 2 tanks go down. Nice split here from SKillous. Cleans up both tanks. Charge is still not yet done, but it's fine. Yeah, it does clean up all the tanks here. ByuN does overextend. Not enough support for his tanks. And SKillous is barely holding on. Barely does hold. ByuN going to be forced back. Behind this is going for a mech transition. We have factories on the way, ion thrusters, spider mines. Again, ideally do want to make this switch into mech, but it does feel like a late transition here by ByuN. Yeah, it is going to be very awkward. And SKillous, he spots a 3rd. He spots a 3rd base. Now, specifically on this map, the 3rd base is so isolated. This is not a uncommon kind of feature on Brood War maps, but whether it's this center 3rd base or this triangular 3rd base, they're very isolated, very far away. You can see here the distance between natural to 3rd is insane compared to regular IC2 maps. Claiming a 3rd is going to be a challenge for ByuN. Yo, we're on a mission. Yeah, calm down, ByuN, calm down. Yeah, skills coming in from behind. Tanks are a little late to siege. Do we get on top of them? We do. Yeah, we get on top of the tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks going to be going down. Do we break through the bio army though? There aren't enough zealots. Yeah, not enough zealots. Big overextension. SKillous did not have enough. Gonna be zoned away. It still was a relatively efficient trade from SKillous as he picked off tanks with zealots. And we have more warpins. Yeah, warpins, they continue. SKillous, he is on 5 bases. He can afford these trades. So he does slip into the main. Slipping to the main base. I will say this position now has been fortified thanks to all the spider mines. There's a lot of mines. And SKillous trying to bait them out. Yeah, base out 4, trickles in. Ooh, massive spider mine. Jeez. Yeah, mines they connect with the tanks are exposed, and he does bring them all down. Yeah, all the tanks do fall at the same time, warping into the main base. Zealots are pulling ByuN apart. Prison towards a natural. And GG gets called. GG gets called. ByuN gets torn apart, and SKillous, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG will play SKillous to take lead in the series. Again, a very unique approach out of SKillous to go for Master Depths, to build up into Master Depths when he did. It did force a really strong reaction by ByuN, forced to turtle up on 2 bases, and then it came down to the 3rd base. ByuN, losing map control, could not claim his 3rd. We saw a lot of skirmishes leading up to the 3rd base in the center of the map, which was pretty intense, pretty back and forth, but after ByuN lost all of his tanks, he lost 4 tanks in the center, he could not defend, right? Could not defend, could not hold on, could not save his 3rd expansion. This allowed SKillous to do what he does best, to mass expand. Get a 4th base, get a 5th base, and even if SKillous was maybe taking some inefficient fights or was maybe overextending at times, he was still trading. He was still trading with his opponent, and he could afford to. He had the money for it, could afford to. GG. GG, well played. With that, SKillous, he does claim a lead in the series, and we'll see if ByuN can recover and bounce back. Let's go. Let us go. We'll see if we can bounce back as we are loading into game 2, loading into Sylphid. Un momento. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sylphid, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the blue Terran, representing Shopify, it is ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into game number 2 here. Welcome to Sylphid. Sylphid is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in top side, left side, and right side as well. So 3 possible spawn locations. From here, there's a little bit of an RNG factor when it comes to how you spawn in. I will say, though, that your 3rd base is going to be much more secure. It's going to be much more secure here. High ground, of course, is a massive part of SCEvo. Remember, there is a mischance pushing up a ramp, so a much more secure triangular 3rd, or even a further and safer linear 3rd base as well. Distance wise, it is closer than Radion. I mean, Radion was like a screen away. Here we're right next to each other, and also choke points. We have 2 choke points coming into that 3rd base, so much easier to maintain. Getting up to 3 and 4 bases is much more common on Sylphid. We'll see how our players do adjust. We shall see. As SKillous, he will find ByuN immediately. Does scout the top side. See in the chat, who is Liquid Nikita? It's Nikita. It's SKillous. SKillous, papi. SKillous' name is Nikita. That's his IRL name. That's what a lot of people call him. It's like, I don't know, Gabe, right? Like, call him Hero Marine, you can call him Gabe. Yeah. Hold on, I'll fix it up. Yeah, Nikita, man, Nikita. As for that, we are going to be opening up here. This time we do see SKillous going to be playing Brood or Protoss, of course. So ByuN, he does pick SE2 Terran, true, should mention that. Does pick SE2, will force SKillous to play Brood War, and we'll see how SKillous does adjust here. Now, once again, they're going for a Stargate opener. Now, bearing in mind, the Scout has been adjusted many times in the lifespan of StarCraft Evolution, is a lot more viable. In regular Brood War, the Scout is very niche, to the point where I don't think it's ever made, to be honest. Like, Scout play is incredibly rare in Brood War, but in StarCraft Evolution, the Scout has been buffed quite significantly to make it viable to go for Stargate openers. Much more viable. SKillous, he does poke out. And we'll actually just rush past the bunker. Guess one. Oh, not quite. But we'll delay some mining. Getting into the mineral line. A Scout is on the way. I believe a Scout 3 shots SCVs. So 2 Scouts, 2 shot. If we were to harass, meanwhile the boys are being pulled on around. No, he's not paying attention. Yeah, Skill's not looking, gets surrounded, and he will lose a Dragoon. We'll lose our early game units. Better defense out of ByuN, and ByuN is going into mech. Yeah, he's gonna mech it up here. Second factory's on the way into battle mech. It is a lot more viable here against Brood or Protoss. The reasoning, the rationale for this is Charge Lots and Immortals completely shut down mech in regular SC2. I say completely, like it's a very efficient. It's a very efficient unit composition. In Brood War, though, Zealot's very different. Speed lots exist, but they're not quite the same. They still take longer to close that distance, to close that gap. There is no Immortal. We have the Reaver, who has a similar role to the Immortal, and we are opening up Reaver. But you can definitely argue is much more vulnerable and less robust, of course. So we're gonna battle mech it up. We're still waiting for the third scouts. Yeah, I'm sending out his Overlord. Let's go. Just amassing more Cyclones. Meanwhile, we have our Reaver drops building up. I was assuming that we would move out with 3 scouts just to harass, but no, we're actually keeping them at home. Keeping them back. Bearing in mind, SKillous did scout both factories earlier. SKillous is aware. He knows. Now the battery does maintain 1 Dragoon. Oh my god. Hot pickup. Breaks the lock on. Nice move so far. First Reaver has arrived. And it's slowly crawling in. Let's go. Oh. So a nice pickup. Takes on one of the Dragoons, and we have to get the shell out of here. Yeah, if we get a lock on the shuttle, I mean, that's going to be game. If we lose that shuttle, we lose those Reavers. Does have to be careful at the same time. Scouts, they do hit the main base, waiting for that opportune moment. SCVs are going down. We get the lock on. Yeah, we get the lock on, and the shuttle is going to fall. And so will the Reaver. Yeah, the Reaver goes down as well. Expensive losses here for SKillous. Ay, ay, ay. At the same time, though, does kill 7 SCVs at least, but will also lose all the Scouts. Yeah, the Scouts have fallen. The Reaver has fallen. The shuttle as well. And the third base, and with that, the battle mech is snowballing out of control. We're snowballing out of control, kills everything. The harassing army, the main army, the base, the expansion. And SKillous, he has a lot of recovering to do. A lot of recovering. Now, there is a way to come back here. The Reaver has a lot of potential as a unit when it comes to its Scarab shots. There's a world where, in a main fight, in the next big fights, we could see ByuN clump up his army, miscontrol his Cyclones, lock-ons can be broken, and we could see some big Scarab shots connect. maybe, but we are heavily reliant on those scarab shots. I will say they have potential. I would say they have less potential than, say, disruption purification novas, or I think that would be maybe the best comparison that I can make due to the smaller area of effect. It's gonna be difficult here, but we'll see. I mean, hey, has the high ground as well, true. Like, mischance can also factor in. ByuN claiming his third. If you recall, last game, ByuN had a very hard time expanding. Here, he's free to get a third base. Just free to get a third. Oh no! The shuttle! Shuttle, oh, barely gets away. Nice control. Yeah, it does split off against the scarab shot. Speaking of, once again, splits away. Does split away. Shuttle, be careful. It's on 1 HP. The 1 HP shuttle. Oh no. Cuidado, papi, cuidado. Bearing in mind the scarab shots have to follow the pathing. They cannot shoot from the cliff face. SKillous does break out. ByuN pulling back. I mean, ByuN, he just split out a couple of cyclones, true. Did bleed out some cyclones. Dragoons, can they hold their own? Oh god, the lock-ons are brutal. Gets one, gets two Dragoons. Tank production has begun. We need to babysit the shuttle, papi. Babysit. Shuttle's going to be turned away. The SimCity working against ByuN. Oh. Yeah, having a hard time engaging. SKillous going to be moving in. Again, tanks are out of position. Cyclones as well. An awkward angle for ByuN. Dragoons are coming from behind. Oh my god. Yeah, he commits and he's going to lose everything here. Yeah, Dragoons, he gets one. He gets two tanks. 3 tanks to go down. But a bit of a messy trade. He does break through the CC. Can he get a kill? No. He can! Kills the CC. Late repair by ByuN. He didn't respect it. Late repair. Didn't save it. SKillous moving in. ByuN supply blocked. Yeah, big supply block for ByuN. Jumping to the main. SKillous pulling ByuN apart. And again, ByuN had a much... Oh god. We'll lose the Reaver. We'll lose the shuttle. It's fine though. It's fine. SKillous, he's done it. He's broken the expansion, broken the economy. SKillous no guy control, pushing in towards the natural. And ByuN can't keep up. Once again, tanks are too far back. Coming out of the production. Ooh. Dragoons, they do focus on 1, they get 2. A little bit messy towards the end, but GG. GG gets called, and SKillous, he overwhelms. SKillous, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. He's also still in the area. GG. GG, well played. SKillous, he will overwhelm. Again, SKillous, he was able to get some momentum in the center of the map. If you recall, there was that moment before, or as SKillous was pushing, where ByuN did bleed out a lot of cyclones. I think he bled out like 3 or 4 cyclones. It was like, oh, this is getting a little bit dicey. And once again, we did see that ByuN SimCity was working against him. When it came to the push that hit the third base, we saw that because of the turret, because of the command center that was in the way, the 4th CC I should emphasize, because that area is so condensed and so choked up, ByuN, even though he had his tank line, even though he had his cyclones, he couldn't engage. He could not engage in with the army. He had a really hard time repositioning his tanks and trying to defend his third. It was all just choked up and stuck behind his expansion instead. So SKillous found a good angle. He found a very good angle. He could abuse the SimCity of ByuN, crippling the economy, denying mining, of course, and then again, eventually breaking the expansion. He went in for the flank. The flank was a little bit messy. It was a very, very messy flank. But he did focus fire all the tanks. And GG. GG, well played. With that, SKillous does overwhelm. And he's up 2-0. Can we 3-0 ByuN? ByuN, he's one of the best Terran players in StarCraft Evolution. And it is going to be ByuN's pick here. Does he pick SE2 Terran or Brood War Terran? Let's go. Let's go. We're loading into Vermeer. We are loading in. Into a 4-player spawn map. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the StarCraft 2 Terran player, the Teal Terran, down in the series. Can he bounce back? Can he bounce back and make a series out of this? Representing Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Teal, sorry. I see light blue, I think teal. Yeah, the purple Protoss player, the purple Protoss representing Team Liquid, it is SKillous. Let's go. Let us go. Oh, the recaps on Reddit. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We do what we can. Do what we can. We appreciate it. Is that shuttle speed? Yes. If you saw the production of, what's the best description of it? Like a blue beam, like moving up. It is shuttle speed. But here we go. Here we go. We are going to be settling. And welcome to Vermeer. Vermeer again is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom right, bottom left, and top right as well. So 4 possible spawn locations. From here, SKillous is going to be scouting. Bottom right will not find ByuN yet. We're just going to be opening up and settling in. Racks expand out of ByuN, not going CC first. But again, the pressure is very much on ByuN. Now, here in Vermeer, we do have close spawns. We have close spawn locations. Aggression is going to be favored here. ByuN, known for aggression, especially in TVP. So we'll see if he can start to apply pressure on SKillous instead. We'll see if he goes into battle mech again. Bearing in mind, we did see mech last game. When it comes to the third location here, once again, it's a little bit further away compared to the last game, of course. It's a little bit more open, a little bit more accessible. We'll keep an eye on our players. SKillous is scouting top left. Scouts. Yeah, as we mentioned, the scout is very different. And we alluded to it last game. Stargate opener once again. I guess we can talk about it again. But the scout has been patched a lot. Like, unironically, like almost every major patch in StarCraft Evolution changes the scout. And maybe I should emphasize as well that StarCraft Evolution is not a carbon copy of Brood War, not at all. It is an interpretation of Brood War, just for balance purposes. If it's a carbon copy, like, it just would not be balanced. So a lot of changes have been made to make adjustments. I mean, again, like, units move differently in Brood War than in SC2, so like things had to be changed to allow for some more balancing. Typically, they try to preserve like the spirit of the units and try to preserve like the feeling of the unit as well, without being too egregious. I would say the SCEvo devs are a little bit limited because of that, because they do need to keep the core aspect of what the unit was in Brood War in StarCraft Evolution. But they do the best they can. The Scout might be the most changed, or the most like updated unit in StarCraft Evolution, just because they patch it like all the time. The other one is the BC. The BC has gone through many iterations in StarCraft Evolution. The other one is the Rax and the Marine. The Rax and the Marine has been changed a lot as well. Nice catch. Yeah, Cyclone has popped out, so we'll catch out the Dragoon and we'll punish Skillous. Skillous has to back off. So we'll bleed out 2 more Dragoons. So nice pickups out of ByuN. He wasn't not forced to deny any kind of mining here. He was freely mining on 2 bases. Meanwhile, back at home, we are instead rushing into a Templar Archives. Okay, Templar Archives on the way, working towards Storm. Storm is on the horizon. Did open up singular scouts. Pokes in, gets 3 SCVs, pulls away. So calming things down. This time ByuN is going bio tank. There's no mech in sight. Not this time. Third CC is much faster as well. So a very fast third CC out of ByuN before the second and third ranks. Greedy play here from our blue Terran. Getting greedy. Oh. So my assumption was it was the Templar Archives for Storm. But remember, in Brood War, there is no Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine does not exist. Templar Archives makes everything. We're making DTs. So DT opener. This can be cheeky. Just like in regular SE2, this can make or break a game. When we move out across the map, as you can see here, it depends on whether or not ByuN mules. Now, thankfully for ByuN, because of ByuN's fast third CC, there's a higher chance he has energy for a scan. There is going to be a higher chance. So very fortunate here for ByuN that he decided to go for such a fast third. DTs are waddling across the map. And we'll see if ByuN does hold on to a scan. So far he has one scan at the natural. He has one scan at the third command center as well. He's holding on to 2 scans. And he doesn't mule. He does not mule. Just notice, he does. There you go, there's the first scan. He still has one more scan available. Target gets thrown down, and DTs, they so far have not paid for themselves. And he gets 2 SCVs. 2 SCVs for 2 Dark Templar are not worth it if it's SKillous. They get cleaned up. High Templar now on the way. Still no Storm, so we can just morph them into Archons. But so far a solid start for ByuN. Had a solid start. As from here, ByuN can move out. It was cool to see 2 games side by side in a fair way. Yeah, I mean, it still has its issues, but I think the advantage here for Evolution is that they're a little bit less restricted with how often they patch the game. Like sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, but the game is patched relatively frequently. I would say that the biggest issue with StarCraft Evolution, and I think the game developers would agree with me as well, is that mid to late game is quite rare. We see a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins, and we do see some mid-game play as well, but getting to see like Guardians or Devourers or like Sky Toss or Ghosts with Lockdown and like Mass Science Vessels, like the later stages of StarCraft Evolution are rarely seen, just because games typically end earlier. I would say the average length of a StarCraft Evolution game is shorter than that. Oh, I was gonna say shorter than that of StarCraft 2, but StarCraft 2 has also had more of an aggressive meta over the past year as well. Like seeing like Defilers and Queens and things of that nature, like the big spellcasters, like it's quite rare. Meanwhile, as they move in, they will take some massive mind shots to the face. Yeah, it takes some massive mind shots. At the same time, the third base is going to be delayed, and can we even get a kill? The tanks should protect. Yeah, tank saves zone away the Dragoons. They do zone away. From here, ByuN is holding. Claiming his third. If we were to start to take up, I mean, this would be the time to do so. So far, we're sticking to a ground army. This is the upgrade that I think was mentioned earlier, but this is, of course, shuttle speed. Locked behind the bay. At the same time, ByuN does get across the map. Ooh, that's a kill. Yeah, that's a kill, not a cancel. Massive pickup at the same time as SKillous does move in. Can he get on top of the Ghost? He's trying, but oh my god, the siege line. Yeah, the tank shots, the Widowmines as well. Zealots are punished. Still has more Zealots moving in. Can he break through? He can. Wow, he still does break through. Trying to get on top of the tanks. One tank will go down. Zealots, they bust into the mineral line. Oh god, that one tank is surviving though. The missed shots. Yeah, a lot of missed shots on the tank. And with that, ByuN holding the line, EMPs the Archons, cleans up the Zealots, but that's still 22 SCV kills. That's still 22 SCVs, crippling damage. Back across the map, ByuN does get in. He's harassing, delaying production, delaying reinforcements. Boys are being pulled. A lot of probes going to be going down. We're getting messy. Yeah, we're getting very messy here. In the end, ByuN will hold on 2 bases. SKillous, he will lose a bunch of workers here at the 3rd. And remember, Skills lost his 4th. He also lost his 4th base. So this one double drop from ByuN is keeping him in this game. This is keeping his dreams alive. This double drop. Yeah, so, hey, the scout comes into play, true. Chasing back the drops. Oh, gotta be careful with the Reaver. The control, the pickups. As a matter of fact, they do barely boost the way here, just buying time. ByuN behind this, did he lose a CC? He did. Yeah, he did lose the command center. He can always try to lift him. Nah, he doesn't need to. I was gonna say lift and land his main base, but remember the resources in StarCraft Evolution are increased, so you can stay on 2 bases a little bit longer. But again, ByuN is contained, and SKillous is rebuilding that probe count. He's rebuilding those workers, moving back in. Let's commit. We'll take some EMPs to the face. Shows the scarab shots. The splits. Yeah, now, it does clump up towards the end. Yeah, some brutal scarab shots. So with that one tank still holding the line. One more shot. Does go down. Once again, the army clumps. Yeah, the army clumps up, and SKillous, he's doing it. He does break through the main army. The juggling. Avoids the mine shot. Uh oh. Once again, does avoid, moves in, and there's nothing left. So we're down to 1 Marauder. Down to a handful of Marauders. Reinforcements are now coming in. Boys being pulled. Desperation here out of ByuN. He's desperate, and SKillous, he will overwhelm. He will claim the series. ByuN, who I would say was favored coming into this matchup. No. SKillous. He does shut him down against the mech, against the ByuN. GG gets called, and SKillous, he will claim the series 3-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. SKillous, he was able to build up. He was able to once again hit and punish that 3rd base. I was under the assumption that we might have seen a bit of a stronger defense there from ByuN, but once again, that area outside of the natural and 3rd, that area in between is very, very open. ByuN, he had a really nice siege line, don't get me wrong, and he was holding nicely, but he just did not have enough bio to defend. You could argue that the double drop across the map was a double-edged sword. He was able to kill the 4th base, and he was able to cripple the economy, but that also meant that he had less at him to defend. That's also true, where he had less buffer, less support, so he was not able to hold on to his 3rd base. And even though ByuN survived on 2 bases, he lost 22 SCVs. He lost so many workers there, so his economy was crippled, and he just could not keep up, could not maintain his 3rd. And I feel like that's the story of a lot of these games here, was ByuN struggling to maintain a 3rd expansion. Very, very much so. Could not take his 3rd base, couldn't maintain it. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations, SKillous, he will claim the series. And with that, we have our grand finals. It's going to be a best of 5 between SKillous and Elazer. Let's go. Let's go. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Esther Steadfast in the chat. God, my God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great, I'm assuming, ladder session stream. Hope you had a good time. Hope you had a good time, whether it was a stream, whether it was a cast, whether it was a ladder session. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great time. Thank you for the support. We are here covering some StarCraft Evolution, some SCEvo. We're getting ready for the grand finals, baby. It's grand finales. Catching it. In SCEvo, high ground shots are 50% hit miss, more or less. It's like 43% chance to miss, like slightly less than 50%, like 43. It's like 43.6 or something. It's 43, just under 50%. Don't think the brutal units miss. No, they do. They do. Everything has a chance to miss in StarCraft Evolution. But again, it's RNG, right? Like, you might land all your shots, or you might miss everything. Oh, no. There we go. Here we go. As we are getting ready for the Grand Finals. Now, before the Grand Finals, we're going to be going on a short break. Going to be going on a very short break here. When we come back, we'll have that final best of 5. We'll have that final series. So we'll see you soon. I'll take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and we'll see you guys soon after the break. See you soon. See you soon. Alright, welcome back everyone, welcome back to the StarCraft Evolution League Masters number 7, the SEL Masters 7 Grand Finals. We just wrapped up with the semi-finals. We had Elazer, he took down ZaRDieNT, SKillous took down ByuN, and now we have the Grand Finals. Best of 5 finals here. ZVP, let's jump on into game 1. We're going to be loading into Vermeer. Vermeer, again, another 4-player spawn map. Now, when it comes to PvZ, when it comes to this matchup, Elazer, as I mentioned previously, has been very aggressive. We didn't really see much of that against ZaRDieNT, I will say. It was ZaRDieNT being the aggressor instead. I'm sure the roles will be reversed here, though. We're going to be seeing a different side of Elazer. Maybe not. We'll see. We shall see. Again, these two players are good friends. They're good friends. They play a lot together. They patch a lot together. They were on the same team for a very long time at one point, both on Team Liquid for a time, and we'll see how they compare against each other. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Liquid, the SC2 Protoss. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Polish Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg. It is Elazer. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into our first game of the series. Let's go. Let us jump on in. Once again, welcome to Vermeer. 4-player spawn map, but we have spawned on the same side here, so shorter rush distance by grounds. Aggression can be favored. We did take note of that last game when we had the horizontal spawns, and SKillous was able to apply a lot of pressure and break the third expansion of ByuN. Likewise, we could see something similar here as well, but a different dynamic, with SKillous instead struggling to defend and maintain a third base. As our assumption is that Elazer will gain map control, but we'll see if that's the case. For now, we're just opening up. We're going to be opening up. Now, when it comes to the meta of PvZ, we have been seeing a bit of a shift. Because of the buffs to the scouts, we have been seeing more Stargate openers and more Stargate play. Say, opening Stargate into Scout, into Forge, into Cannons, into Fleet Beacon, into Fast Carriers, into Mass Scouts as well. We have been seeing players like Classic mix that in. Likewise, we can also go for your standard Robo opener into Bay, into Reaver drops. Like Reaver drops are still viable, or we can go into early Citadel and early Zealot legs. I will say those 3 kind of tech paths are the main choices that we often see in ZVP. We'll see where SKillous takes us. From the side of Zerg, it's a little bit more one note. Either we go into heavy Hydra play, we could try to rush lurkers and go for like a lurker based all in, play heavy Hydra, or rush into Muta play, into Spire instead. We'll see. They'll have their pros and cons. Elazer, he will scout bottom right. He will not find SKillous. At the same time, the second Overlord will eventually come across the spawn location. SKillous likewise does poke in. Confirms the standard opener. Knows that he's safe. Is safe, is secure. I mean, different on the 4 spawn maps. I mean, I should also emphasize that it's a little bit different in StarCraft Evolution. There are 4 spawn locations, but fun fact, in SCEvo, when you open up the game, when you load into the game as a player, 2 locations are pinged and 1 location is not. So you know immediately that one spawn has no one spawned in there. So it does remove one of the RNG one of the RNG factors of where your opponent spawns. This does help with scouting. It does allow you to find your opponent faster, to make sure you don't get cheesed or all-in, and it's not too favored. But that is a unique change to SCEvo, which is really cool. StarCraft 2 and StarCraft Evolution have done it in different ways, right? In StarCraft Evolution, they just remove a spawn location in by random, of course, whenever you spawn in. In StarCraft 2, you have speed zones to scout a little bit faster instead. So in StarCraft Evolution, they just remove one of the spawn options whenever you load in. In StarCraft 2, it's just faster to scout due to all the speed zones. It has different solutions to the same problem. For now, we are indeed going for the early... Oh, right. I don't know why I was speaking on SKillous potentially playing Brood or Protoss. He's going for a charge roll in. We have a massive gateway explosion, Twilight Council opener, charge all in at a SKillous, Elazer back at home. He is going for his Hydra opener into a fast lurker den, or into a fast lair, into fast lurker tech. Will this be ready in time? Remember, SKillous is going to hit with his all in, and there's going to be a window in time here where he can break his opponent before lurkers are ready. Oh boy. I do see a third base being thrown down, but again, this is still off of 5 gates. Yeah, 5 gateways. +1 is almost done. Charge as well. The upgrades are about to finish. And soon, Skills can pull the trigger. If he fails to kill, then Elazer will snowball out of control with that higher tech with the lurkers. Yeah, SimCity gets spotted. Now, SKillous does scout that Elazer has not expanded, that Lazer's also staying on 2 bases, so that might prompt SKillous to not commit. Zealots to try to break a 2-basing Zerg player can be quite difficult. What's the plan? Yeah, SKillous is making workers. He did skip some warp-ins. He's going to defend. Okay. Yeah, we can see the Skills are taking a defensive stance, and it's Elazer going for the 2-base all-in. Lings are flooding behind this. Lurkers are about to morph, and Elazer's about to send it. He's going to send it here. Now, this is where the turns have tabled. I mentioned earlier that Skillous would be at the advantage before Lurker tech. Now that we have Lurkers, Elazer has the superior army. Elazer, he has a lot to work with. Zealots do not scale well, not against heavy splash damage, not like this. They're not very efficient units because when they dive in, they typically die. And I'm concerned for Skillous. He's checking for the third. There is none. Yeah, there's no third base. Lings, they catch reinforcements. And again, Elazer has not made a drone in quite some time. Oh my god, massive shots. Yeah, lurker shots to connect. That drags the army in. And it's go time. Here we go. It is go time. Elazer, he rallies everything across the map. It's going to be a charged out defense. Comes in from behind. It gets us up with the Hydras. I mean, not bad. If Skillous can get, if he can bypass all these Lings, get on top of the Hydras, catch reinforcements, but oof. Yeah, it's going to be zoned away. And here comes Elazer. There's the recall back home. He's racing back. There's 0 detection. I just realized. 0 detection here. Ay, ay, ay. Robo's just now on the way. Very late Robo, very late detection. There's no answer. There's just no answer to lurkers. Zealots, once again, they're trying to catch reinforcements. Lings, they lock down the army. They try to. Yeah, they will. They will lock down the army. Lurkers, they burrow. Oof. Yeah, brutal catch. Busting into the natural. With that laser, he's done it. He has done it. He has broken the natural. Pushing in towards the third as well. Zealots, they will catch reinforcements, but they cannot engage with the lurkers. They're just zoned away. Skillous, he's trapped outside of his own main. He's trapped outside. A robe is going to go down as well. The observer will not pop out. Oh, sorry, there is one observer. Okay. He's got an observer. Lurkers are exposed. The best fight that Skillous could hope for is still not enough. Yeah, it's still not enough. He couldn't have asked for better. GG gets called, and Elazer, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. And GG, well played, Elazer. He will take a lead in the series. Again, a very interesting game with both players initially wanting to go for a 2-base all-in. Then, when Skillous scouted that his opponent was staying on 2 bases, he's like, oh, like, I can't push in anymore. Like, I can't break you. You're not expanding. You're not exposing yourself. And then Skillous was stuck with Mass Zealot. As I mentioned, it does not scale well against heavy lurker tech and heavy lurker play. You're stuck with all these charge lots as opposed to disabling stalkers or splash damage like Robotech, for example. He could catch reinforcements. He could kill Hydras, but he could not touch the lurkers until the very end. Even then, it was too late. Was too late. GG, well played. With that, Elazer, he will take game number 1. And we're now getting to game 2. It was almost like a build order win, where blindly Elazer was playing 2-base and Skillous was playing 2-base. And then when Skillous realized, it was like, oh, like I can't really do much here. The best he could hope for was that maybe Elazer would just expand and macro, but didn't happen. And with that, we're now getting to game number 2. Going to be loading into Sylphid. Loading into Sylphid. Sylphid, of course, is a 3-player spawn map. We do have some RNG factor when it comes to the early game, but for the most part, we do often see greedier builds here on Sylphid. We'll get into it. Is the Brood War GG the same as the SE2 GG? Oh no. Yes, one is rarer than the other. If you've ever played Brood War Ladder, you know. It's spawning in the bottom right hand corner. So yeah, that's more applicable to GLHF. But it's spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Sylphid, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. Representing Team Liquid, it is SKillous. Sticking to SC2 Protoss. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player, we have the Polish Zerg leading the series 1-0. It is Elazer. Let's go. Let us go. What do you prefer? I don't know. I think, are we gonna go for a cannon rush? Are we? No, Nexus first. Okay, Nexus first, let's hide the probe. We still might go for a forge here, by the way. No shot. Oh. Oh. There it is. Let's go for the forge. Cannon rush. SKillous, he does hide his worker here, going for the cannon rush. Alas, Elazer, he's unaware. He doesn't see, he doesn't know. But in reference to in regards to 4-player spawn maps and how it's handled, I think I prefer the StarCraft Evolution way of doing things, just because in StarCraft 2, needing to throw down speed zones to connect bases and around the edge of the map and in the center, it's a little bit more limiting when it comes to map creation, because you have to accommodate, you have to fit that in and make that work with all the speed zones, with the monorail system, with the aqueduct system. I do think that's a little bit more limiting when it comes to how creative you want to be with maps, as opposed to just removing a spawn location. But regardless, the cannon rush is upon us. The cannon rush is upon us. Elazer, he already let the hatchery finish, as he had no idea. And we'll see if SKillous can kill this natural base. That's the least that he wants to do, and the spawning pool is not even done. Yeah, the pool is still not quite done. Hatchery taking a lot of hits. I do actually like that Elazer, he walls off. He walls off here. What does this do? It means the probe is stuck, but it also means that there's no second cannon rush. Otherwise, there would be a second cannon rush here at the third. So thankfully, the probe is locked in. Probe is locked in. This hatchery will go down. So this is a pretty successful cannon rush. But there's no second cannon rush here, thankfully. As the hatchery goes down, Hydrogen is on the way. And behind this, SKillous is building up. Remember, this was a quote-unquote macro cannon rush. It was Nexus first, right? It was Nexus first into Forge. Just a macro cannon rush. Hydra upgrades are on the way. And we're going for a Twilight Council follow-up. Okay, so SKillous still being aggressive. Does he go in charge again? We might see early charge again. We could go into Blink Stalkers, but charge would make sense if SKillous wants to break the third. Now, you can see here that it's a very, very different setup compared to Game 1. Even if Elazer goes for a 2-base all-in, like we saw in Game 1, here in Game 2, the third is, well, his natural base is very open. It's very open, very exposed, because he was forced to expand at the unnatural location. He was forced to expand at the third base. There it is, we're going to charge, and this should be much more successful. Or has potential to be more successful. As previously, the natural base was just fully walled off, right? It was just walled off, and Zealots just could not engage. We are building up a lot of Hydras, though. So we have a lot of Hydras. Takes down the Adept. 8 more Hydras on the way. Elazer, he's now moving out. Lazer's gonna hit first. Wow, charge is only halfway done. And before Skillous can build up into his +1, into his charge, Elazer, he's coming, and Skillous is getting ready. He's trying to get ready here, throwing down a wall of cannons, wall of shield batteries. Panic here by Skillous. Elazer has arrived. The battery's not done. Yeah, the stack defense is not ready. Star steps in, catching out the Stalker, denies the buildings. And this is it's hitting too soon. It's hitting too soon. The charge is not ready. No. Oh my god, takes down the pylon. Takes down the other, depowers and denies +1. Yeah, +1 is denied, and Elazer, he overwhelms. He does overwhelm. Instead of going for a Lair Tech Lurker all-in, he just goes for a 2-base Hydra all-in. It hits faster, it hits harder. He's already here. Also, I should mention that charge was delayed, and the upgrades were delayed because of the cannon rush as well. True, true. Like, the Forge did slow other things down. So there were other factors. Elazer's done it. Elazer, he does it. The boys are being pulled. Desperation here by SKillous. Elazer snowballs out of control. GG gets caught, and Elazer takes game number 2. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Elazer, he does claim a lead, a further lead here in the series. This goes into what we mentioned at the start of the semis, if you recall, how Elazer, he's hyper aggressive here when he plays Zerg. A lot of all-ins. 2-base play, 2-base all-ins. Different variations, though. Game 1, teched up into Lurkers. Game 2, ignored Lurkers, ignored the Lair as well, went for an earlier push, and he hit before Skillous was ready. Skillous, he was going for his own timing. He was going for his own timing, his own charge, his own +1. Before that kicked in, bam, Hydra's hit. Hydra's just hit before Skillous was ready. And with that, Elazer is up 2-0. He's up 2-0, and can we get a game 4? Can we extend this series? I would love to see a game 4, a game 5. I'd love to embrace the mid-game. The mid-game would be nice. We're not getting there yet. We're not getting there yet here as we are loading into Keris Passage. We did mention earlier as well that typically SCEvo games do end a little bit sooner, and late game is a little bit rarer, but I'm hoping for at least some mid-game play here. We'll see if we can get there. Does Elazer ever get a 3rd expansion this series? Does he ever take a 3rd? Let's go. Spawning in the upper corner of Keris Passage, we have the blue Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss once again, representing Team Liquid down in the series. The pressure is on. Can he bounce back? Are we going for a 12 pool? We are. Oh god. I was like, is Elazer ever going to get a 3rd base? Is he even going to get a natural this game? Is this going to be a 12 pool drone pool? Oh boy. In the top left corner again, we have representing Team Liquid down to the series. Can he recover, bounce back, and extend the series? It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, going for the 12 pool, we have the Polish Zerg player, the Red Zerg, leading the series 2-0. We saw a lot of 2-base aggression this time. 1-base aggression. It is Elazer. Let's go. Now, there are all-in versions of this or macro versions. You can go for a 12 pool, expand, and just be aggressive with Lings, or you can 12 pool what? 12 pool drone pool. You can just pull the boys and move out with your Lings as well. We'll see how Elazer will approach this. We'll see. As the pool is finishing, Ling production has begun. And Elazer expands. Okay. So he's not pulling the boys. Not going to pull the boys. Elazer, he is expanding, or is he pretending to expand? So he's not going for the all-in. This is hyper-aggressive. Thankfully, SKillous will scout. He will see the pull is already done. SKillous knows. He goes for a defensive Forge. So gateway, early Zealot into a Forge, into cannons. Second pylon to keep everything powered. Good scout, good reaction. SKillous should not die. He should not die here. He should be able to defend. As long as the control is good, this Zealot cannot be surrounded. We have to be very, very careful with this Zealot. We cannot get out into the open. We cannot get surrounded. We just have to dance. Maybe even pull a couple of boys. These Lings ideally want the Zealot to come out. Oh, be careful. Tell have to be careful here. You see Elazer trying to bait out the Zealots. Oh! Jesus. And behind this we're droning. Behind this we're just droning up. We're just saturating. The Forge taking a lot of hits actually. Oh my god. Takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. It's gonna go down. The gateway as well? Oh, this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand here. The Forge does fall. Cannon will finish. SKillous will defend, but a bit of a messy defense. No. Oh my god. We just mentioned we got to be so careful with the Zealot. Don't get surrounded, Pappy. But SKillous, he will hold, he will defend. Behind this, Elazer has been droning, has been saturating. We're building up in towards the early game. Building up. We're calming down. Now, due to the opener, the Cybercore is late. It's a delayed Cybercore, it's a disrupted build. SKillous, once again, going for an early Twilight Council. Every game of this series, SKillous has gone for a variation of charge. We'll see if that trend continues here. Meanwhile, that is a very fast lair. I believe that is a lair before Link Speed. Yep, so we're going to be skipping Link Speed, rushing into the lair. Now, rushing a lair this quickly, we're thinking one of two things. Either Spire into Mutas, which I feel like you would not rush into a lair this quickly for Spire play. Otherwise, we could be going into fast Hydra tech. Into Lurker, sorry. Into Lurker specifically. If that was the case, though, we'd see a Hydra by now. Lair is halfway done. Is it Mutas? Again, it's either Mutas or Lurkers. No, Hydra Mutas. Okay. Yeah, gases are being taken in the main. Oh. Okay, does wall up. Does wall up, does wall off. Now, if the plan is to go into Muta play, there's a big window in time where SKillous is, sorry, where Elazer is vulnerable. Elazer is vulnerable here. As charge is on the way. Gateways are amassing. The Adept gets in, that should not have happened. Does get a full scout. Confirms the lair. Big scout on the main base. Again, the wall was off center. This is getting a bit out of hand. 1, 2 drones going down. 3 drones even. 4. Oh my god. Barely 4 workers. And Elazer, he has a very shaky early game. As I mentioned, it is Spire, it is Mutas, but this is delayed. A bunch of workers went down. This has been scouted. Because of the scout, this should prompt SKillous to push. And SKillous is getting ready. War Prism's on the way to reinforce. SKillous should be pushing. And there's a high chance that SKillous can just kill Elazer before Muta play. Yeah, Hallucination confirms the Spire. Elazer has to do everything he can to buy time. There's already Stargate. Yeah, there's already Stargate on the way. Double Stargate into Mass Corsair. Ling's Age will get the Sentry, just barely. Sentry goes down. More Zealots are warping in. And we need a wall. Yeah, we're getting a wall of sunken colonies. Just a wall of sack defense. All the spine crawlers, all the sunken colonies. Elazer's walling off. Funnily enough, SKillous is skipping warp-ins. He's not going into a charge all in. I assumed that he would. Elazer assumes that he would as well, but no, we're just going. Alright, I keep thinking that SKillous is playing Brood War Protoss, so I'm like, oh, Corsair, Phoenix, the other one. Phoenixes are on the way. They are amassing. And SKillous, he doesn't want to take a risk. He doesn't want to take a risk and try to go for an all-in, have the all-in fail, then fall behind. He's just playing it safe. Probing, saturating, building of Phoenixes. This does mean that we have a game. We have the mid-game. We're getting into the mid-game for the first time this series. The game is slowing down. Prism gets caught. And thankfully, Elazer's not going mass Muta, Hydra Den. So he opens Muta, then switching into Hydra Lurker. Yep, there's our Lurker tech. This is merely a stepping stone. As they move in. As they move in, they get 1, 2, 3 probes. So far, decent damage. Yeah, 4 probes going down. Mutas, they still maintain themselves. Again, you have to be very careful here. Mutas are very delicate units. Very delicate. Look after the Mutas back. Behind this building of Hydras. As soon as they move in, they will hit the mineral line, catching out 7 probes. Oh, yeah, Phoenix is out of position. The Mutas are still getting a surprising amount of damage here with 8 probes going down. Oh, at the same time, they'll say do bust into the natural. Yeah, 2 drones. They will trade against the Hydras. They kite back here to the colonies. Losing a couple of Hydralisks. That was 2. 3. There's 3 Hydras going down. But I'm now worried for SKillous because the Mutas have done a great job when it comes to buying time. Lurker production has now begun. Lurkers, they will outscale the Zealot heavy army. And the colonies, they're buying a lot of time. Yeah, they're buying time. Zealots, a trade with side defense. We will get a couple of Hydras. Lurkers have arrived. Oh, but they get into the mineral line. They're getting to the mineral line. Oof. At the same time, Mutas, they get 12 probes across the map. They're all going to be thrown away, but it's fine. They paid for themselves. 14 probe kills. And Elazer's coming. Now, Phoenixes, they're not dead supply. They can still be utilized to lift Lurkers. That is true. They can lift Lurkers, but that's what the Hydras are for. They're here to protect. What do we need? Splash damage. Splash damage, Immortals, units that can tank. Archons are okay. Skillous' army is still lacking. But now they're keeping Elazer contained, getting a couple of drone kills. We're getting more Archons. They're not the tankiest of units. Uh-oh. And here comes Elazer. So Elazer, he's getting up to 3 base saturation. He's going for a massive move out. Hydra speed is done. Hydra range on the way. Elazer's pushing. We have the Lunkers behind this. Where are the Lurkers? Oh, they're already across now. Okay. They're already across. Do we have detection? There's one observer. There's one observer. Lurkers are getting in position. Hydras, they move in. We do lift. We lift 1, 2, 3. We lift every single Lurker. Yeah, Lurkers are lifted, but there are so many Hydras anyway. Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, the sheer amount of Hydras, they break through the Zealots. 2 Lurkers do survive. And the Hydras, they just subset forward, they're overwhelmed. As you mentioned, there's just no splash damage, there's no storm. No splash damage. Not like this. Oh my god. Yeah, we do kite back. Nice lift. Once again, does barely lift the Archons. They're barely breaking through. Oh my god. 1 Archon survives. And SKillous is holding. Whew, he's barely holding on here. He holds, he shuts us down. It's 3 base versus 3 base. I would say this is a better economy for SKillous. Better economy. Retain some of the Phoenixes. But now we got 6 Lurkers on the way. I'll say that's the thing that Elazer was missing. His Lurker count was relatively low. He had like 5, 6 Lurkers across the map. Now replenishing. He's got the 4th base just for Larva. And SKillous, he survives wave 1. What about wave 2? What about wave 2? Yeah, the choke point working in Elazer's favor. Oh. It does work in his favor. Very choked up area of the map. Very narrow. Yeah, but Hydras, they do overwhelm. He just wants to get in, Pappy. Ah. And Storm now begins, but it's so late. Storm is so delayed. Can he buy time? If SKillous can buy time for Storm, then he can hold. Just has to buy time. I had to send the Prism to zone back. Elazer getting across. Denies the gold. I should emphasize as well that Elazer is all in. Like, he's choosing not to drone up his 4th base. Like, the 4th base is no drones whatsoever. Prism gets in. That should not have happened. Yeah, Prism gets in, distracts Elazer, delays reinforcements. This will weaken the main push. Yeah, the main push is weakened. But he will have position. He's on top of the high ground. No, he gets on top of the high ground. Lurkers a burrow. SKillous, he has to move up the high ground into the army. Yeah, just completely out of position. Storm is still not yet done either. And the natural's going to go down. The natural goes down. SKillous, he's stuck on the low ground. He's gonna move in. He has to. Oh god. Yeah, he has to push into a concave of lurkers. He has to go back around instead. Again, out of position. The main base is now gonna go down. We'll catch reinforcements. And are we going for the base trade? It's so late though. It's such a late base trade. We're going for it though. Again, he can't engage. Like, he just cannot engage with the lurkers. It's impossible to do so. Not when you're on the low ground. Not like this. Elazer races back home. Kills the main. SKillous, he will take a better fight initially. Cashing out all these Hydras. Hydras are cleaned up. Lurkers, they get... Oh no! They're within range of the third. Yeah, they're within range. 43 probe kills. Critical damage is being dealt. Again, the main base is also under fire. Lurker still uncontested. Tries to go for the lift. Does lift up all the lurkers. Jesus. Okay. Nice defense. Cleans up the army, cleans up the lurkers, but here comes the main force. Yeah, here comes the main army. Elazer, he does make it across. Now the final expansion. The last base left. Yeah, side defense is the recall back home. Lurkers, they burrow. And there's just a sea of Zerg here. The swarm has arrived. We get the first storm of the game, but again, it's too late. Oh my god. I mean, the storms are good. Jesus. The storms are good, but not good enough. Not like this. As we got one final storm. GG gets called, and Elazer, he will claim the series 3-0, becoming the SEL Masters number 7 champion. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very intense game here, with initially Elazer going for the 12 pool into 2 base lair, into 2 base spire, into 2 base muta. SKillous, he scouted, he was aware, he responded. Instead of going for his own charge all in, he responded with mass phoenixes. And I would say he struggled to keep up. Despite the mass phoenixes, mutas, they still killed a lot of workers. A lot of economic damage was dealt. On top of that, we saw that SKillous wasn't ready for the Hydra lurker transition. Storm was a non-factor. Storm only finished at the very end of the game when it didn't even matter. So very, very late Storm, very late splash damage. It was very impressive to see SKillous defend with his Charge Lord Archon Phoenix composition against the first push. That was really impressive. But the second wave was detrimental, right? Unfortunately, again, Storm wasn't ready. Also, which was more important, SKillous was out of position, right? He failed to see the move out. He failed to see the army pushing on the left-hand side. And as soon as Elazer got on top of the ramp, that was game. Like, he was able to just outposition the army, get on top of the ramp as the third base is on the low ground. GG. GG, well played. The only option there for SKillous was the base trade, but it was... unfortunately, he was base trading when his main base was already under fire. Like, it was just a very delayed base trade because, or very late decision to go for the base trade. Just a really rough position there for SKillous. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Elazer. He will claim the series. He will claim the tournaments. Again, a lot of hyper aggression here. We did get to see some mid game, at least in game 3, at least getting up to a 3 base economy, but still very aggressive there from Elazer. Congratulations. Again, shout out to SKillous. It was great to see him performing here tonight and to make it all the way to the finals as well. Remember, SKillous, he beat ByuN, right? He had a very, very good performance against ByuN. So very impressive play there by SKillous. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the morning. Now, if you want some more StarCraft Evolution content, next week we're going to be live with the Ladder Invitational. There was a StarCraft Evolution Ladder Invitational with the best players in SCEvo. We're going to be covering that next week. That will be next week. As there is a ladder to SCEvo. True. There is a ladder on the arcade. Otherwise, let's quickly head on over here to our schedule. Now, this is not our only cast for the day. Later on tonight, in around 7 hours. In around 7 hours time, we're going to be live with the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League. We're going to be co-streaming, I believe, Sturgeon, Gemini, State, Tasteless. They're going to be covering RSL. We'll be there to co-stream. That's going to be tonight and tomorrow night. Saturday and Sunday, 2 days of RSL action. I believe it's going to be Serral versus Rogue and... oh god. Serral versus Rogue. And I think we have some other ZVZs. I think Shin and Solar are still in the tournament as well, in the lower brackets. Clem is down there. Hero's down there. That's it. No. Hold on. Let's just double check. Because I know that Hero did lose his series against Rogue, but I think he's still in the tournaments, right? Yeah. I think Hero's still in. Yes. So it's going to be Hero versus Shin and Clem versus Solar. That's it. So Hero Shin, Clem Solar, and Cyril Rogue. Those are going to be the matches taking place over the next couple of days. And again, we'll be in around 7 hours time. Oh, we actually have 3 series tonight. Interesting. So it looks like, oh god, it looks like it's going to be 3 series tonight and 2 series tomorrow. But we have some best of 7s. Okay. Good to bear that in mind. So again, that's going to be later on tonight here. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. Bearing in mind that RSL is leading into BlizzCon. True. Just catching up. These mutas have crazy range. Because of the range of the mutas, it makes it difficult for Phoenixes to engage with mutas head-on without Anion Pulse Crystals. And if you remember, SKillous never got Anion Pulse Crystals. So the hard counter that the Phoenixes have in SC2 isn't really there in Brood War or in StarCraft Evolution. Not the same way. Phoenixes, they still counter, but it's a little bit more punishing if you're unable to control or if you miscontrol. There's some more counterplay there. But with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate the support. We'll see you guys either in 7 hours time with RSL, or we'll see you guys tomorrow for more RSL, or next week for some StarCraft Evolution. True. Otherwise, thank you so much to Steadfast for the raid. Thank you so much for the raid earlier, and we're going to be heading off for the time being. Stick around. We'll be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live at the moment? Who is live? Who can we raid? Let's have a look. Let us have a look. Let's see. I see Florencio streaming. Omeg Dave is streaming. KJ is live. We'll give some love to KJ. Let's go. I haven't seen him stream in quite some time. Yo, big shout out to KJ.
More and more.
Oh my god. Give him some love. Be careful with your audio. KJ, for those who don't know, he's the owner of Psystorm Gaming. Owner of Psystorm. And he's been running the FSL for quite some time. The Family Star League. True. Give him some love. Yes. we will do the viewer replay. Don't worry. Hold on. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's go. We're going to be going on a short break. I was checking our schedule to see when we'll do the viewer replay. We'll just do it right now. We're going to go on a short break. When we come back, we did have a replay redeemed in the chat by Roxas. We'll jump in. We just need a moment to set up. Need a moment here. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to something special, something that we have not done in a very long time, actually. Welcome to a viewer replay cast. We just wrapped up with the SEL, with the StarCraft Evolution League, but now we have returned with a replay that was redeemed in the chat. If you're out there, if you want us to cover your replays, you can do so via a channel point redemption. 10,000 points. 10,000 points will get you a replay redemption, and we do have a replay from Roxas in the chat. And I don't know what to expect, because Roxas is a Zerg player, but he's off-racing as Terran in this game, so I'm concerned. What do you... no. Very, very often whenever we have off-racing going on, like, I'm expecting mech. I'll be honest, I'm expecting mech or some cheese. We'll see. Let's go, Papa, let's go. As we're going to be loading into Blackrock, into our ladder game. It's actually going to be a Terran versus random game. Okay. Let's go. Let us go. This morning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackrock, we have our red Terran player representing Infected. It is Roxas. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the ladder legend himself. We have the blue Zerg player. It is Wally Woo. Let's go. Let us go. Wally Woo playing random and landing on Zerg. Actually, does land on Zerg. So here we go. We are going to be settling in. And as I mentioned before, Roxas is, our viewer in the chat, is mainly a Zerg player, so obviously not going to be as critical of their players. They are off-racing here as Terran. As I mentioned before, often whenever we see off-racing, like if we see like someone off-racing as Protoss, they usually go into like Sky Toss. Someone off-racing as Terran, I'm expecting like Mech or some cheese or something of that nature. For now though, standard opener, going for the SCEvo scouts, moving out across the map, and we'll see how our players do indulge. We shall see. The SCEvo scout, of course, confirming the race of choice, as Roxas was unaware of the race here of his opponents, confirming Zerg. Let's do build up. And it is going to be pool first. Interesting. Okay, so pool first here out of Wally. A very safe build. I say very safe. I mean, technically you can open up with a couple of lings, move out across the map, and disrupt and delay the initial CC timing. That is something that Roxas should be aware of, because the early pool, there's potential for some early ling aggression, so you have to be a little bit more aware of that. And because of that, we typically keep the first Reaper at home. You keep the first Reaper at home to defend against the potential early ling aggression. Of course, the SCEvo will help confirm whether links are sent out or not. True. That should help. Otherwise, this could just be early queen production. But Wally is holding onto the larva. He's holding onto the larva. The SCEvo comes back too soon. Yeah, the SCEvo pulls away. So as I just mentioned, these lings typically would be scouted by this SCEvo, but Roxas pulls away too soon. There's nothing to threaten it, which means these lings will go by unscouted. I'm concerned if Roxas moves out with the first Reaper. Assuming he gets the CC on the low ground. True. Assuming. Oh, God. Never mind. What are we doing? We're skipping the Reaper, going reactor first? Okay. Okay. Let's go. Meanwhile, the lings are kept at home. So, again, we're being a little bit inefficient here. Usually, if you go pool first with the early lings, you can get across the map and delay the CC. As we can see, it's going to be one base play out of Roxas, so there is no command center. But what lings would accomplish here if they move that across the map is to see whether or not there's a command center, and in this game specifically, they'd be able to poke up, confirm there's nothing. There's no Reaper, there's no Marine. These lings could chip away at the wall, not saying they would kill, they'd force the boys being pulled to repair, but they would also scout the opener. They might even get within range of the factory as well to confirm that it's one base heavy. So, yeah, the lings are a little bit lackluster here for Wally, as he's not making full use of them. Likewise, the first Overlord doesn't go across the map either. So the Overlord positioning here is also going to be hurting Wally when it comes to scouting, vision, awareness, and reactions as well. From the side of Roxas, is not going for a one base all in. I assumed it would be. Right? When I see Rax, Reactor, Factory, I assume one base all in. It's a very late natural. Very, very late natural base. We're going into Reactor Reaper Hellion. This is a TVT build. Okay. Unironically, a TVT opener here out of Roxas. Because of this, we'll have excess units early on and has potential for damage. In this matchup, because of the power of the queens, because of the power of the queens, usually being this aggressive and this committed early on doesn't really bear fruit, and that's why it's not really seen in competitive play. That's why it's not really viable, because lane queen defense should shut this down quite hard. But at this level of play, you kind of do what you want. I mean, even pre-GM, like even low GM, you can just pick your own builds and do what you want and still make it work anyway. Here it is going to be a fast Roach Warren out of Wally. Taking his gases, going to link speed, a heavy 2-base play out of our Zerg players. So both players are being very aggressive, and both players are being they're not being very economic in their own way. So late third expansion, late droning, late saturation out of Wally, late natural base out of Roxas. And it is going to be... Our assumption was correct. Again, it's almost always the case. If you see a Zerg player off racing as Terran, they're gonna play mech because they want to know what it feels like to be the abusive player. They want to. So Zerg players off racing, mech, Skytoss. It's kind of what we expect. Let's go. They want to know what it feels like. Understandable. Meanwhile, Wally, he is going into his own 2-base Roach opener, but late drone, some messy saturation. Going into an early Roach Warren like this without going for an all-in is usually a bad thing to do, or it puts you behind. The reasoning for this is because it delays your expansion, delays your economy, delays your third base. You set yourself behind, and you're building up into units that you won't really make use of. As I mentioned before, against early game Reaper Heli like this, you can defend with just Queen Link. Like, you don't need Roaches to defend here. So the fact that we've invested this heavily into Roaches and now into a lair, like, this is just delaying the Zerg economy, delaying the Zerg production, and keeping the Zerg player low. Back at home, Roxas claiming his own 3rd CC, bit of a misrally. Yeah, it does misrally. I will say that because Roxas went into 4 factories early on, Roxas is also being very inefficient. I mean, you can see it here as the Reapers they move in, but you can see that Roxas doesn't have the economy to sustain this kind of production. So we're missing SEV cycles, missing workers, so the production here, the economies, for both players, that it's quite low. If I was looking at a game like this in a vacuum, I would assume that Wally is going for an all-in, but again, there's a very good chance that he just wants to play safe and then slowly get a 3rd base, which would mean that these Roaches were kind of a waste. I'd also say that Roxas just scattered all the Roaches. That should prompt Magville accelerators, not Blue Flame. Blue Flame isn't really going to accomplish too much here. It's ideal against like Lings. Against Roach heavy play, we do need to prioritize Magville accelerators and cyclones, or you can go tank as well. We're doing a bit of both. It's a bit of everything. Oh, as we're also missing the orbital. Yeah, no orbital here either. So again, the economy is still very lackluster. We're missing mules, as there are no orbitals. Missing mules. But you could, again, as I mentioned before, you could argue that, yes, we're missing mules, we're lacking orbitals, the saturation here is lackluster, but there's also no 3rd base. So it's kind of better for Roxas, to be honest. Like, if there's no 3rd. Like, the economy is still solid in comparison to what the Zerg player has. And he's actually going for a push. Okay. Oh, never mind. Reapers, they will delay the Roach move out. We'll keep Wally back home. Again, this is delaying the all-in quite heavily, and this is giving Roxas the time that he needs to build up more tanks. Unironically, there's a chance that if Wally had just committed across the map then and there, I think he kills. What would have been a home to defend? 2 tanks. There would have been 1 tank on the high ground, 1 tank on the low ground. Yeah, there's a very good chance that it could have broken through, but because we're buying so much time, because the Roach push has been delayed, we have Banshees on the way, the production cycle's still lacking here for Roxas. We could be getting like a 3rd and 4th tank here for a stronger defense. It's still looking very messy. As they move in, they do get an on-siege tank. Yeah, the tank should go down. We can keep pushing out of range of the other tank. The boy's being pulled. The critical damage as a lot of workers are going to be falling. Oh, just try to target fire. Does try to focus fire the Cyclone, so he will miss killing a bunch of SCVs. But they're still going to go down. Yeah, they're still going to go down anyway. Oh, good. Yeah, once again, some miscontrol. as that is going to be only 10. That should have been every worker. Every worker should have gone down here, but only 10 SCVs do fall. Again, you did see, unfortunately, a bit of a lack of priorities out of Wally. Multiple times he tried to focus down Hellions or target fire Hellions, target fire Cyclones, but it did mean that he was missing a bunch of DPS because his units were trying to like run into each other, trying to get into these rage units. The SCVs were in their way, so some messy control there by Wally. There was potential to do more crippling damage. Oh god, planetary is a third. So we're missing more mules as that is non-orbital. So early planetary. Once again, an excess of factories, considering that we don't really have the economy to sustain the production that we currently have. That is a very common thing that happens as well once we're kind of getting into the game, and just trying to be a little bit more cognizant and aware of like what your economy is and what you can afford, and the ideal production for your base count as well is something that you get used to over time and that you become aware of over time as you play more Terran. Yo, the random Banshee, let's go. Oh no! No, the Banshee! The Banshee, let's go down. Going into like Battle Mech Banshee is a viable composition, but that's not what we're seeing here, right? We're not seeing like second and third starport into Hellion, Cyclone, Mass Banshee into like Hyperflight Rotors. That is something that you can do. It's not being done here. Roxas is going for a medevac. It looks like he wants to be fancy with some drop play. Interesting. As Wally is also expanding. Drone count is still very low. Due to the low drone count here, Wally's actually undersaturated on 2 bases. So we just kind of spoke a little bit about like Terran production and like overmaking production buildings without having the economy to sustain it. You're seeing something very similar here where Wally is investing heavily into tech. Roach Warren, Hydra upgrades, Eva Chamber upgrades as well. To be fair, Wally does have a bank, but is lacking workers, is lacking that crucial aspect to be able to sustain an army over a longer period of time. The drone count is still very, very low for Wally. Despite the fact that Roxas has not been aggressive. Like, Roxas has not applied any pressure. If Wally was just mass droning this entire time, he would be maxed out. At this stage of the game, he'd be maxed. He'd be maxed out just because he'd had so much more to work with. Larva, bases, hatcheries, and economy. This is also something that happens very often and very commonly is again, just overmaking units early on, undermaking workers, and that has a negative impact on your mid-game. Does have a negative impact. So in a kind of game state here where both players are leaving each other alone, I have to favor Roxas because he has a 3-base economy. It's not ideal, he's lacking some orbitals and lacking some mules, but he more or less has a 3-base economy up and running, and Wally is lacking that without losing anything, by the way. Like, it's not like, again, Roxas has not been aggressive at all. Wally could have fully droned and fully saturated, but he's just, even now, still making Hydras and even taking into a Spire as well. So Roxas can move out, and Roxas can knock down bases. Can knock down expansions. Hatchery's gonna go down. I believe Roxas is unaware of center right, but there's no saturation there. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Nice armor shred. Very nice. Shreds the armor. Cyclone needs a kite. Yeah, we need a kite away. As, I mean, especially with the armor shred, they just overwhelm. They just overwhelm all the Hydras. Hydra's going to be going down, and Wally, he is burned through his bank, and because of Wally's low economy, he cannot sustain these losses. Cannot sustain it. So both armies, they trade, and Wally plummets in supply, and is trying to rebuild, trying to remax. Again, still lacking workers. Now the Spire is not going to come into play, as he has no bank to make use of. When it comes to Roxas, the strength of Battle Mech is your ability to kite, and he chose not to. Roxas, he chose not to kite back, he chose not to dance with his Cyclones, he just A-moved in, so that was a little bit wasteful here from Roxas. There was potential for him to have a stronger engage. You could argue because the armor shred, like, it didn't really, like, he still traded well anyway, I guess. True. But we're just doubling down. We're doubling down here with our Cyclones, with our Liberators. Interesting. Going Liberator here. And Wally, he's now droning only now though. 5 drones are on the way. We're still on 35 workers. Fun fact, this is still under a 2-base economy. Like, he's got 4 bases, but he's under 2-base saturation. So we're still lacking drones. And again, Roxas's economy it's good enough. It's good enough. It's better than his opponents. That's all they ask. That's all that we ask, Vappy. A couple of Thors being in the mix. I don't think it's quite necessary to invest into Thors yet. I would prefer tank production. The idea of going into Thors would be better against like a big Mutas transition, that is true, but you already have all these Cyclones anyway. I would say that a bigger threat here for Roxas would be like a heavy ground army. So it'd be nice to kind of round this army out. Regardless, just hyperfixated on anti-air. And I mean, again, we can see that Wally is just making nothing but Mutas anyway, so this will still benefit Roxas. And he may just back off and max out. That might just be the goal here, just max out. I like how the 3rd is a planetary, but the 4th is an orbital. God damn it. Ah, no. Roxas, he's kind of building up into refining his death pool of an army. Once again, if we're being this passive, then I would say that a heavier tank count would be better. We mentioned this earlier, but the strength of Cyclones is your ability to gain map control, to be active on the map, and to kite. But if you're choosing to just stay and turtle up at home, then this is where Cyclones have less value, right? They have less value as you're not really making use of them, so it would be superior here to build up a heavier tank Thor count instead. If you're not being active with the Cyclones. Otherwise, like right now, we could be knocking down bases, right? We could be being active, we could be killing bases, trading with the Hydras, killing drones. Again, it's a very mobile composition, so don't be afraid, right? Don't be afraid to be active, to be mobile, to move out. With the Cyclones, keep the tanks at home, right? Keep the tanks at home, keep the Thors at home. You split up your army, have 2 control groups. And you can bully with your Cyclones. You can bully. Meanwhile, how many? I feel like the muta count is quite high. 16, soon to be 23. This is not going to be pretty. Yeah, well, when 2 volleys go off, every muta goes down. Again, there's plenty of anti-air here. Smooch. This is where you get the comments that are like, look at this, mutas are useless. This is the equivalent of what you send to like Hearthstone for. Is it Imba or do I suck? There we go. GG gets called, and Roxas, he will overwhelm. He will claim the game and win the ladder game. GG. GG, well played. Este Roxas. Aye. GG, papi, GG. Are you making the switch to Terran? Is it happening, or are we just having fun? Regardless, again, as we mentioned, interesting style. As the early game was very messy. I mean, it was messy for both players, but I would say that's probably the biggest thing. Again, you know, when it comes to getting into the mid game, like you were making SCVs, making workers, building up into a 3-base economy, which was solid, but getting there was very messy. I'm referring to reactor first, right? You went, hold on, especially you scouted the early pool and you still went reactor first. That's crazy. For all you know, that could have been early pool into early gas into like a roach all in, right? Like and then you just die. So the early game probably needs the most work. Is the most concerning to me, but the mid game was solid. The early game though was scary, papi. Aye. In reference to keeping the SCV across the map, to see a Ling move out, to get a follow scout on the gas timing, right? To see the gases, to see if your opponent might go for early roaches, might go for a Bane bust as well. Whether it's a roach all in or a Bane bust, both would be detrimental to your opener because you had no SCV scouting, and you were skipping your early units, right? You were skipping your Marine, you were skipping your Reaper, going reactor into factory. So that's very, very, very risky, very bold. I'd suggest making sure the early game is a little bit cleaner, but outside of that, GG, well played. GG. Este Roxas. And with that was our one and only viewer replay cast. Again, if you wish to submit some replays, you can do so via the chats. There is a replay redemption there, 10,000 points. We didn't do it too often, but every now and then we get a replay redeemed. GG. I'm looking forward to seeing your Protoss next. Oh no. Ready for the sky toss. But with that, congratulations, and we're going to be heading off. As I mentioned before, we're going to be heading off, and we're going to be getting into RSL later on tonight. It's going to be in 6.5 hours at this point. So I'm going to go get some breakfast, going to go get some food, and rest up my voice and get ready for the RSL. Because again, it's going to be 3 series tonight. Longer broadcast. But thanks for watching. Stick around. We're giving some love to KJ. I think he's still live. I believe. Yeah, we'll give him some love to KJ. Give him some love, give him some support. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.